In this video, I'm going to share with you my story of how I've been able to turn my life around from absolute destitution to the life that I now lead. I'm also going to tell you how you too can create financial security regardless of your current situation. So I live in the UK near London with my gorgeous wife Lauren and my daughter Chloe. I also have two sons, Sebastian and Brandon Jr. I was born in Darlington, County Durham, and was adopted into a wonderful family when I was only 3 months old. We moved to the West Country where I grew up and learned how to sail a boat. Sailing was, and still is, my passion. I'm an avid yachtsman, and I became a professional yacht crew at the tender age of 15. After graduating from Plymouth University with degrees in marine law and merchant shipping, I joined the Merchant Navy. During my 9 years at sea, I studied hard and attained the rank of captain by the time I turned 27. I've circumnavigated the world a few times and have seen and experienced lots of wonderful things. I also served my Queen and country in the Falklands War and have the medals and the war stories to bore you with when we meet. I married my first wife in the mid-80s, but the two careers didn't mix. So I came ashore and secured a 9-to-5 desk job in a large corporation and began the long, slow climb up the ladder of success. Unfortunately, my first marriage didn't last, and I lost everything I owned during the divorce. With the divorce settlement concluded, I began rebuilding my life in the early 90s. Married my current wife Lauren and continued to do well in corporate land. I worked for a number of American companies during the dot-com boom and again rose through the ranks and ended up managing director of a NASDAQ quoted company. Life was extremely good and our financial garden was very rosy. Then the dot-com bubble burst. Most American companies downsized their European presence, making me and a lot of my fellow Europeans redundant. For the next 5 years, I bounced from one job to another. The market was very fickle. Most companies were in survival mode. I'm not one for being out of control of my destiny, so I co-founded a company in Dublin, raised $5.5 million, hired a team of developers to build an advanced online marketing service. We were on the eve of launching the service when the global credit crunch took the world by surprise. Our investors retracted their investment and we were left no alternative but to delay the launch. 6 months later, we had to lay off all our staff and mothball the idea and the company. So close and yet so far. I then began what turned out to be the worst days of my life. I ended up unemployed for nearly 2 years and my once wonderful marriage and lifestyle rapidly went from riches to... You may be surprised to learn that I considered ending my life. Now, ending one's life is the easy, selfish way out, and I've never been a quitter, never have been, never will be. You've probably heard the old saying, behind every successful man there is a strong woman, and although at the time our relationship was in shreds, Lauren's desperate pleas kick-started me back into action. She believed in me and reminded me that although I was broke, I wasn't broken. I had no money, but I had good health, and that's all I needed to get started. So I cleaned people's windows, I tended their gardens, I painted and decorated their homes. In fact, I did whatever I could to earn cash to stem the ebb of mounting debts. I secured a desk job in a roof renovation business. All was going reasonably well when I then fell on the wrong side of Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs for not paying my taxes on time. So following the advice of 3 chartered accountants, I reluctantly filed for personal bankruptcy in January 2014. If this wasn't bad enough, my employer went into liquidation in May of that year, owing many of its staff many months' pay. And to top it all off, Lauren was admitted to hospital for a routine operation which went horribly wrong, and it left her in an intensive care unit. And I was standing at her bedside thinking, I'm an undischarged bankrupt, I'm hitting rock bottom, and my soulmate is fighting for her life. I mean, how much worse did it get? So the pressure got too much to me and I actually fainted on the ICU floor. Thanks be to God, Lauren survived, and however she is actually left with a life-changing condition that will be with her for the rest of her life. Maybe you've experienced a difficult crisis in your life. So the past 10 years have totally depleted my financial wealth, and the prospect of having sufficient money to enjoy a comfortable retirement looks unlikely. My military and state pensions don't amount to a lot, and certainly wouldn't keep Lauren and I in the manner to which we would like. I also have the daunting prospect of finding the funds to enable Chloe to go to university. That's currently £35,000 or $50,000. So I've had to find a solution to solve this inevitable financial disaster. Now, I was working a 7-day-a-week job. Yes, you heard me right. I was so desperate to recover my financial position that I had to work every hour God sent, and it wasn't uncommon for me to work an 84-hour week. And if truth be known, it was slowly killing me. A job gives us the money to do the things that we want to do, but takes away our time and freedom in which to actually do it. And this is the problem for most people. I've always strongly believed that you can make a comfortable living from the internet, but I've desperately struggled to find it online for various reasons. I'd hate to think how much time I've wasted on fruitless programs and systems that churn out the same old rehashed garbage. And yes, I've also been ripped off like most people who are looking for the internet's holy grail. Out of desperation, I began searching, and I cannot express the amount of relief that I experienced when I discovered a system that was going to change my life and the lives of my family. I'm very analytical, and I always focus on the detail. So I took a real close look at this system and discovered that ordinary people like you and I were achieving such amazing results, and in a very short period of time. Armed with the experience of setting up my own software company and knowing how much work and effort goes into building an online engine like this, I'm well qualified to conclude that this system is the real deal. I recall thinking at the time, I finally found a platform, a system that is going to over-deliver on my expectations. This system is the fastest way that you're going to get online. It puts all of the learning in the background so you can get started super quick. If you need to make a change in your life, then you must get started today. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make in your life. So go on, do it now, don't delay, hit the button below to get started. And I'll leave you with one last thought. You can't change your past, you can change your future. Join Mo and don't look back.